Yo, JD here, Limitless, and as you can see, back on F1 2020 as always, and we are back finally again with some league racing action in TSRL round 14, I believe, of this season.
Right, let's go.
And coming into this race was off a very good one in WR. Well, I actually won around this track just 4 days previous to this, so you can see the championship standings, got a 42-point lead over LCR Leopard, who managed to take the win last time around Hungary after a pretty bad race from my perspective. But as I said, coming into this race, should really be feeling good with a lot of confidence. But I have to say, and you could probably tell maybe by the title of this video, and yeah, just to be honest and stuff as well, I just really came into this race for some reason just very, very low on motivation, and I feel that I'm just very, very burnt out of this game at the moment, and it's just been so intense with esports, 2 leagues a week, and just so much stuff going on. Christmas really cannot come soon enough, but we have this race, and we also have Monza the week after, and then we go on a break. So I'm really counting the days down to that at the moment, and for some reason just entering this lobby, normally I'm always super hyped when I'm doing a league, but I just wasn't feeling it today. For the first time in a very long time, I just wasn't feeling in the mood to race, to be honest. But you can see in this video here, we managed to get through to Q3. Actually got through with 3 fresh sets of tyres for the Q3, but actually just didn't do a good lap at all. And I think you can tell by my demeanour and stuff as well, just not
such a good lap until
just not hyped or anything whatsoever. And normally that's never the case. Normally I'm always really hyped, really excited, but I'm just not for this one here. So this is my final lap, my only lap that I'm going to get in Q3 here. And I know I can do a 40.5 because I did that in WR, and I've done it quite a few times in the practice as well. And again, I couldn't really put my finger on it. What I feel is that I'm just definitely just burnt out of this game, and I just definitely need a rest. Streaming every single lap I do is quite draining, being completely honest, because everyone sees your good moments, your bad moments, and I think it definitely just catches up with you. Also doing the same track where leagues do the same calendar as well. I think leagues should definitely do different calendars, so you're not doing the same track twice a week, because especially for you guys who are watching, you're seeing me do the same track all the time. For myself as well, it just doesn't make it that exciting for me. So I think a combination of those things, but mainly just feeling burnt out with this game, needing a break ASAP. But coming into this lap here, this lap was going actually quite well for the final run, but you can see just the way we're driving and just my demeanour again, getting a slap of oversteer at the exit there, which is going to hurt me going down all the way down the straight. I just wasn't, I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood, and that's quite rare for me to say that, because normally I'm always extremely hyped, especially when I've got a championship on the line here. You'd think I would be a bit more up for it, but going to this final chicane, the whole lap was just, it wasn't a bad lap by any means or stretch whatsoever. As we cross the line, it's a 40.7, which is not bad. P5 at the moment, but everyone else is driving really well. And you can see Leopard, my main rival in this championship at the moment, he comes through the last chicane, and you can see the lap times from everyone is really good. Actually better than I think it was in WR. So everyone's doing really well, and I'm just not driving with any commitment. And yeah, I know that's something I've probably said a lot of times, but I'll say it again. When you're streaming every race you do, and everyone sees every lap you do, so many people don't stream. They don't see their performances go up and down. I've seen it with other drivers as well, like JQB and other people. Momentum is just such a big thing in this game, and if you're not feeling it, then it's really hard to get back in the swing of things. So yeah, that qualifying I wasn't too upset with. Still P6, but starting the lights here now, just trying to just get in the mood for this race. So as the lights go out now, trying to get a good start. We actually get a pretty good launch. Clone gets a very bad launch, but we go down the inside of my rival and going into P4 temporarily, making a little bit of contact with the Haas. So HX4K Leopard goes around the outside of me again, and luckily I haven't got any damage. I really struggle to not lock up when I'm braking late for some reason. I really need to fix that, but I tried to make an ambitious move because track position is just so crucial around here. But we have made up position, so we are into P5 after Clone's quite bad start, and I'm using the exact same setup that I did for my race win in WR. But the difference is in this race is that I'm actually in traffic now, and in WR I was either in second or first, with the guy ahead of me not having any DRS. So I'm using 1.6 wings, which should be quite quick in a straight line, but in the dirty air it's going to be quite hard to keep up. But I wasn't really thinking of that at this point during the race. I was just thinking, I think I was just overthinking a bit too much as well. And again, I don't like to be negative or anything, but I just want to be real, because the fact of the matter is not every race is going to be perfect or a good performance or you driving really well. Everyone is going to have races, and everyone quite often has periods when they don't have a good race, not a good mentality. You can't just have it perfection all the time. And the story of this race after the first lap was that I was struggling quite a bit to keep comfortably within the DRS. It's quite easy to keep up, but my plan was to try and save as much ERS as possible. But at the moment I'm not driving particularly well, just not braking that late, not going on a throttle that early, just not having that extra % of confidence like I had for the Monday. And you can see here Brett turning quite early here, and the thing is, if you're not within 0.6 or half a second of the car ahead, you don't really benefit from the slipstream whatsoever. So I'm actually having to use a bit more ERS than I would like to try and keep up, because you can see by the delta is going up ever so slightly, and I'm being caught from behind as well, so I'm not able to really save anything as much. And I just couldn't get any closer than the 8 or 9/10 gap, which always put me a little bit on edge, because I was always worried about if I would go out the DRS zone, and if you go out the DRS zone around here, it's not a good thing. So yeah, definitely wasn't feeling it so far in this race. And again, I just can't really put my finger on it. I think it's mainly just kind of a bit of a fed up with having some bad races, or no, my last race was really good, but sometimes you just need a break, and I think that is definitely what you need. And I always say this to esport guys as well, as I get my first track limit warning, that playing every day and doing too much is like training a muscle. If you keep on bench pressing every day, then you might get a bit stronger for a while, but over time you will start to lose your gains and just motivation, and your body will just ache and stuff like that as well. I think it's the same for your mental capacity as well. And yeah, I definitely feel that is the case, what is going on here. But you can see dipping out of the 1 second window now, and the pace is really quite quick. The leaders, I think JKB is really trying to push very hard, which is dragging everyone else along, compared to the pace in WR where it was at 45, 6 or 7. Now you can see I'm having to use so much ERS just to make sure I get any detection point. Clone is struggling to keep up behind, and then Lefted behind him is struggling to keep in the DRS. So all the guys up the front are quite close to each other, within half a second of each other, whereas myself, Clone and Lefted are all like a second apart. It's so hard to get within the half a second window, especially when the cars ahead have DRS. You can see we're actually out of a second now, so I'm actually having to push really hard now just to try and keep within. And this is not the tactic I wanted. The tactic I wanted was to ideally start at the front, of course, and then just save my ERS, use it for the overcut, have the fresher tyres, and make sure I'm in the top 2 going into the last stint. That's really what I was looking to do. But you can see when you're out of the grid position a little bit, it makes your races so much harder here. And this is quite a crucial part of the race. I'm within the DRS still here, about 6 or 8 tenths behind Leopard. I don't have much ERS to play with. So coming through this last corner, Leopard decides to pit. So he goes for a bit of a bold undercut. And I think that was my first mistake. My first mistake was that I should have pitted that lap as well, because I'm not going to get the DRS on the main straight now. I'm going to be put underneath some pressure. And the undercut is not that significant. It's not huge, but if you're able to save the ERS, then it is. And that was kind of my thinking why I didn't do it, because I didn't have that much ERS to play with. I wanted to save it as much as I could, but in reality I really should have probably done that. But you can see here now we have actually caught up a little bit towards the end of the lap. Some other people have continued on a little bit further, and yeah, let's see what happens here now. You can see my tyres are pretty worn at the end of that stint, so we're going to go on the mediums until the end of the race here now, going into the pits. Let's see if we don't get held or anything whatsoever. So it's quite a smooth pit stop here, but we've got to look out for where Leopard is, my championship rival here, who's been on a very, very good streak recently. And you can see he's actually overtaken 2 cars, so he has been able to make that undercut work. And again, I think he was probably allowed to save a lot more ERS than I was, because he was much closer to the cars and wasn't having to push to stay in that DRS zone. And you can see here now I've come out the pits and I haven't got that much ERS. That's why, again, I was kind of thinking not to pit early, because if I wasn't able to get that undercut at all, then I would have been a real sitting duck. But I think hindsight's a beautiful thing. Probably should have pitted though, if I'm being honest. But here again, I'm still having to push. I'm always that 8 tenths to about 1 second away from the guys ahead, and I just couldn't get closer than this. And I don't think it's really so much of a setup thing. I think my setup was really good. It was just me not driving with the commitment and confidence really at this stage. And again, I don't want it to always be positive as well when I do videos and stuff, because I'm always going to upload every race I do pretty much. It's not always going to be a great performance, and I think these kind of videos are quite a good insight, and especially for me as well, looking back, it just gives you again the true perspective that not everything is rainbows or fairy tales. Like, same with life every day. It's you've got to have bad moments, and moments where you definitely need to improve. You need to analyze things of how you can improve that as well. So yeah, it's definitely a lesson to be taken. So coming on to the end or the beginning of lap 9 here, pretty much hitting the DRS train, and it's going to be so hard to overtake. I'm already quite low in the ERS. I'm having to still push a little bit just to make sure I get within the DRS zone. You can see coming on to lap 13 here, FRA Ron here, who pitted a little bit early, I think, is coming out here. And yeah, it's just so hard. This is as close as I could get. You can see once again having to use when they're all so close to each other. They're getting the benefit of the slipstream. These
guys are pushing so hard,
but I'm not getting the benefit of the slipstream. I sound like Alexander Albon. Why they're racing me so hard, or why they're pushing so hard. The pace is really fast at the moment. There's a few little battles and actually now starting to develop. So this is definitely helping me in my favour a little bit. I need them to battle to slow down so I can get within 6 tenths to half a second. Then I can start to save the ERS much more efficiently. But you can see again, I just can't get anywhere near in this middle sector really. It's just a little bit of understeer, but going through this left-hander, I always got quite a good exit. You can see I've actually finally this time I've actually managed to make it within the half a second, and he's starting to go out wide a little bit, Felipe. So now this is the closest that I have been so far, and I thought to myself, I need to maximize this opportunity. Being this close, I'm not going to get too many more of these opportunities. So I decided to take a big risk here. I'm actually going to use my ERS, and I've actually caught Felipe napping just a little bit. So you can see now I'm getting the benefit of the slipstream. The 1-6 wings is very quick in a straight line, so we're going to go down the inside into the last chicane here, leaving some room on the inside. He definitely doesn't want to give up this position here, and we get the DRS But the thing is, I don't have that much ERS to play with, so it's a drag race to turn 1. Again, I have to make sure that it gets moved. I'm locking up very, very badly here. Having to use the ERS once again just to make sure I'm within this detection point. I'm just 9/10 away, so just within a 10th here. But the problem is that I don't have much ERS, and when you fall below 10%, which I have now, you're going to be down on power. No matter what, you're just going to be down on power. You're not going to get the full benefit. So I'm trying so hard to stay ahead of Felipe, which I am. He's obviously still trying to fight me very hard at this point, but I have gotten the move done, so I am into a net P3. So I'm actually, this is actually a good position to be in right now. If I could save more ERS on the front 2, have a go at Hawks or HX4K, then I have a chance to beat my rival in the championship as well. But the thing is now is that I am so low on the ERS. I have to get within this detection point for the main straight. If I don't do that, then I'm going to be a sitting duck. So right now I'm pushing as hard as I can, using Rich, keeping it in Rich through this corner, making sure I get a very good exit. So I'm using the ERS now. But you can see the delta. I am under 9/10 now, but now with the lack of power, the delta is just going up and up again, and the detection point is coming up. You can see I'm using all of my ERS. It's such a big risk for me to do that, but I'm going to be just half a 10th short, and that is something that just keeps happening to me in races as well. I just keep on failing to get in that detection point. You can see we have no DRS here, and with Felipe only half a second behind, I'm in single digits on my ERS. I'm going to need a very good exit off this corner. So trying to get as good exit, I do get a very good exit, in fact, and he's quite a way behind. But you can see with the 6% ERS, now I'm just going to be so slow in a straight line. I'm going to be so much more underperformance than I would be. I'm doing everything I can to stay ahead of him, but it's going to be such an easy overtake for him. With that battling, I've just used too much, and at the start of the race I had to use so much more than I really needed to. And yeah, but the only thing I'm hoping for now is that he doesn't get the DRS and the cars ahead, so then I can save my ERS and then attack him again. But it looks like already he's actually caught up to them again, and yeah, this is going to be very tough. So over the rest of the race, Leopard is still leading, so this could be a very big points game for him. Ron here's got a penalty, 2 cars behind me. I haven't got a penalty at this stage. I've just been trying my best to launch one final attack. So I've got about 50% ERS save now, because I wasn't able to get close before. And right here, I'm just trying to save as much ERS as possible for this back straight, because I know I'm not going to be close enough on this main straight whatsoever. So you can see using the DRS, but not using any of the overtake power, as Leopard and HX4K are going very aggressive alongside each other. So you never know what can happen here. HX4K actually has the lead here, but I think Leopard is going to go for the switchback on him, and this is again playing into my favor, because as they are battling, it allows me to get closer, and having 40% ERS is something that is quite good to have here. And I've got the fuel to play with, but you can see the tyre wear indicator. Tyre wear is actually quite touch and go around this track here, so I have to give it everything. HX4K actually has a penalty as well, so at the moment we would be on a podium, which would not be a bad result from P6 on the grid, almost losing the car here. So using the rich mix, got 50% power to play with here. So now I'm just hoping that these guys do not have the ERS that I have here. So using it as much as I possibly can, and we are gaining on Felipe in a straight line towards the end. You can see his red light has come on. That means he is under 20% ERS here. So going through it here, I decide to make a bold move round the outside here as much as I can, but I've caught my wheel on his front wheel and go for the chicane. I've lost 2 positions, and man, I come home P4 in the end, which is still not bad. I wanted to take that risk. Because that would have been P2. With Leopard winning, I decided to take that risk, and it just didn't pay off in the end. And I think you could tell again, yeah, it's not something I like really to show in videos. Of course, you always want to show myself doing well and driving with positivity and stuff, but today I just wasn't feeling it. I just was not feeling it, and I think, you know, again, it's tough when you're having so many races back to back with esports and stuff, and just streaming all the time, and people having these expectations and stuff. I know other people have gone through the same thing, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to having a break after Monza. It will be a good thing, and I've lost a few points in the championship here today as well, so yeah, not much to say in that one. It's just how it goes sometimes, and it's just the mood you have, and you just got to do your best yourself to prepare for the next one. I just want to say again, thank you so much for people who are always positive, people who understand my perspective, because obviously you get people who don't understand, but that's just how it is. You can't make people realize everything. So thank you so much, and I will be looking to still do my streams after Monza, but just to do a bit more for chilled out streams for non-league races and stuff as well, non-competitive races. So that will be good. Thank you so much again. Hope you have a great Christmas, and I will catch you soon. Peace.